But that's what they said.
That's what they said.
That's what they said.
Well, when the boy racers are f***ed off. Finally out on a trip. It's been minimal hike. About 6 to 7 days. Not the bestest of days for Angus coos. Yeah, it's very hot, isn't it?
I'll show you the little device later. That was the thing I was keeping secret. It's a way of attaching a camera to a trekking pole that I've not seen anyone use. It's not designed for this. Lost in the Farnham countryside. I'm trying to get to Waverley Abbey to start the video. I just learned that Paul, an idiot outdoors, has died. He was a good friend to a lot of us, and I was arranging a trip with him next week, and sadly he took his own life on Monday. I thought when I put my video up about grief, what's it got to do with hiking? What's it got to do with this niche? Well, it turns out f***ing everything. No apologies for swearing. And in fact, the last video he watched was my video on grief. I think all of us had spoken to him on the Sunday. And I've just been speaking to Ryan. Absolutely no hint of him taking his own life. Obviously, if I go ahead with this hike today, because I learnt on the train getting here, this is dedicated to him. I joked with Ryan saying, oh great, a video dedicated to 2 dead people. Paul, you're a f***ing idiot. A wonderful idiot. But f***ing idiot. It's probably a good thing I'm wearing shades. You can't see me cry. Yeah, he had his demons. I'm not going to talk about them here, and it's not my business to talk about them here. So my heart goes out to Louise and his daughters. Ryan, Chris, Alex, Molly, and everyone who knew him. Keep it real, Paul, keep it real. Classic Surrey. There was a footpath, but actually doesn't go down to Waverley Abbey. I have to walk down a very busy country lane. Yay! I'm guessing that's the house that doesn't allow paths along their land, so I had to walk down that scary road. That's Waverley Abbey House. Seems like some kind of conference centre. Yeah, there really needs to be a path down that road. I mean, seriously, you got the Abbey here. How are you supposed to get to it? I mean, John would know. There's no direct paths from Farnham. I'm supposed to catch a bus or drive here. That's not great. I'm at Waverley Abbey, and this is the start of my trip. Waverley Abbey is near Farnham. I grew up near here, about sort of maybe 5 to 10 miles away, probably less than that actually, 7 miles away. So it's kind of my old local manor. From Farnham itself is the start of the North Downs Way, which goes all the way to Dover, 153 miles. And given that Paul's gone, and I probably won't be doing the trip, but in honour of Paul, I will continue. This abbey is originally from 1120. I think it's a Cistercian abbey. It's amazing what survives of it. I don't know if you can see in my pack. It's not exactly a small pack. So yeah, I've got about 4 days food in there. But for a 7-day plus hike, using a 35L, 30L patrol pack is minimal. I can do that because it's summer. This is the challenge. Can I do one of my hikes with a 35L pack? And I know Farnham owned a lot of places. It's possible it's sort of some kind of trade route or pilgrim's way, probably. What's behind me? The monk's dormitory. Very posh. Very big place. So many places I wanted to show him. He'll be missed. See how busy this road is. And as far as I can tell, the North Downs Way goes near here. But this is the only connector road. This, which is that very aforementioned house, see the barbed wire, there's no path along either side of the road, so you were stuffed. It gets a bit dangerous on these roads to be a bicyclist or a pedestrian. Waverley Abbey house, I tried to have lunch and then got deluged by about 3 or 4 wasps immediately, so I abandoned it. I just had a bag of crisps. I'll have to try and find a bench or something on the North Downs Way. Because I got the news about Paul when I just started walking, I wasn't really thinking. I was talking to Ryan. I walked the wrong way. What I should have done is taken the North Downs Way that intersects with a lane that's just up here. And now I'm going to have to go back and kind of redo the little section that I missed, which is annoying. It wasn't really a good state of mind. That was minimal and very easy to miss, so I missed it. It's this way. I just went up the hill for no reason. Of course you have to noisy bird. Just had some lunch. I feel a lot better. Well, I don't, but I feel a lot better physically. I really have wrestled with myself about continuing this walk. I know it's what Paul would have wanted. Paul loved this. In fact, he wanted to get more into hiking. In fact, that was the whole thing about the 3 mountains. And so we're going to do some hiking together. He was so generous, helping me, helping this channel, helping people. He was always thoughtful of others. Even when I said, oh, well, I was going to do this trip, am I scuppering your plans? I was like, no, I haven't made the plans yet. I'm just thinking this for about 6-7 days and then come back and do the mountains. So much I wanted to show him. If I could be half the YouTuber he was, I'd be proud. And he should be here. He should be still here. So we walk on. I'll see how I feel. And it does feel better to be out here. A bench. That would have been good 5 minutes ago. Typical, isn't it? It seems to be the best place to be. To keep going. For such a kind, considerate person, he didn't apply that love to himself. And that's my message to you. Love yourself. And I know you can't fix someone with love. It doesn't work like that. But I just wish sometimes I could just shake people and go, just love yourself. Even if you don't love yourself, just be okay with yourself. I just wish people would see that they are loved. As Paul was loved, as John was loved. I feel in both cases they never really got it. And there's one thing I want to take from this video is please look after yourself. Please practice self-care, therapy, counselling. I'm not sure I love myself. Some people would say I do love myself because I'm on camera. Hello! Yeah, my critics would say that.
But no, it's learning to be at least okay with your place in the world and accepting when things go right. Paul did amazing things in such a short time. 2.2k subscribers is not easy to get, especially for a stealth camping channel. I know, because I struggled to get to 1.1, and he was a natural at it. Great on camera. It was his personality. It shone through. But the saddest thing is, I don't think I ever got through to him. I don't think if he got 1 million subscribers, he would have believed it. It's always with a catch. I just wish he'd understood that.
Not sure it's the way navigations or the way itself. Way! Only Surrey would start the North Downs Way at a bypass intersection. So yeah, this is Hickley Corner and it's the start of the North Downs Way. 153 miles to go maybe? I don't know, we'll see. We're back at this bench again. It's very hot, 26 degrees. This is Rumfold Wood, which the North Downs Way goes through. As always, too early, but I've seen a few sites, so this all looks very possible. I don't know, 4 hours before I need to stop for my premiere. I didn't mean to start that late. I actually had to double walk like 1.5, 2 miles of it. Do I have to do that? I was like, no, I'm walking it. I need to walk all of it. That's the rules. Very important, there's rules. Usually these things start at a piece of the old town or a very old, a church, or whereas classic Surrey started on a motorway intersection. Even I was surprised that they didn't start it at like the Maltings or something like that. Yeah, you're supposed to cross this. It comes out there where that green sign is, and so you're supposed to walk along here to here with all that traffic. Nice. That's reassuring. This is the Hampton estate. I just went the wrong way. I found the North Downs Way again. Had a great conversation with a couple of kids and their parents having a lemonade start. Very good lemonade, actually, really good lemonade. I did pay, although I didn't have that much cash. You need to go like one of those little merchant card things. The lemonade stalls nowadays, so a few people have cash. But yeah, I was talking to parents, telling them what I was doing on a long walk. I didn't go into other details. I've just been walking kind of in a bit of a fugue state. Just walking. Hopefully it's good therapy. In case I don't have time later to film this, this is the device. It comes with both things, the clamp and the little phone attachment, 1/4 inch screw attachment, and it just sort of clamps onto the trekking pole. Now this is meant for trombones. Yes, either reading music or recording themselves playing. So it's actually a trombone clamp of all things, which I found on AliExpress. But it comes with a little phone clamp, much lighter than carrying a selfie stick. You can then just use our trekking pole as a selfie stick and have a little clamp. Just stays on there. So this is my secret device. I've not seen anyone talk about this because it will adjust, it will clamp onto any type of pole, trekking poles. It also has adjustment on the back, then use this as a monopod. And so you should be able to use it as a sort of primitive tripod, especially when it has a tent up. You can clamp it onto the pole of the tent. But it might even work even if it's just sort of forced into the ground, or if the two of them lashed together. It should work. I prefer if it's plastic rather than metal. The clamp bit is plastic, but the rest of the clamp is, apart from that bit, and some form of plastic. But the rest of it's metal. But it's way smaller and lighter than a selfie stick. All you have to be careful of is not poking people. coming his way. I do actually have the little stopper, just in case. Yeah, it's a polite company. Very true. And as individuals, we can all make a difference. It's very true. But also nice to have a bench. Because my dad doesn't live too far from here. I'm actually tempted to actually see if he wants to meet up and camp in his garden or something. Possibly. Be nice to talk to him, especially about what's happened. Half-mast, did they hear the news? This would be perfect. This is Topford Wood. A bit early to go anywhere. I just left a message from my dad. Be nice to see him after his cancer diagnosis and surgery and chemo. Yeah, last year had been a trial with John, my dad having cancer and going through chemo and surgery, and now Paul. And life is shit, and then you die. Life is shit, and then someone else dies. The issue isn't dying yourself. The issue is others dying. Crying while hiking, that's a new one. It's been several times today. I'm still in shock. I know there's this whole genre of silent hiking. Maybe I'll start doing that. Usually I'm whinging about lack of water. I'm moaning at this, I was like, this is not today. Not today. Puttenham, very nice old school church. And you've got a water refill at Jolly Farmer, so that's cool. Hope it was open. It's early, I think I found my spot. I went no contact with my dad. It's hell of a day to do it. But I contacted my dad, explaining what had happened, explaining that, I needed to talk, and my stepbrother Hamish died in a similar way, and I get this long rambling voicemail about how, I don't have any food in. I have food. Oh, the place is a state. I said I could sleep in the garden. I've got my tent. And illness issues, which is, yes, I know he's recovering from cancer, so I get that. They did the same when John died. I couldn't go round there, even though it was the worst day of my life. There was excuses about a washing machine. And before that, because his wife hated John, they made excuses about not having enough chairs. And that's how he worked out eventually that John was persona non grata. Yeah, maybe it'll change in future, but I just can't deal with them at the moment. I can't deal with the lies and the excuses. It's been a long time coming. I'm sure I'll be painted as the bad one, but I just can't deal with it anymore. Great, we lose 2 people in one day. But one of them was never there. Paul was there. This will test the light. The 10 is up. It's actually been up since 7, but I've been busy posting things. Well, I had a premiere. It's weird, it's the wrong time to be talking about gear in a video. It's like, shut up, Tim, shut up. But it was set before Paul died. Well, during the period I didn't know.
And I just put up a video telling people because Louise was concerned that his community doesn't know. There's been one comment on one video from his best friend, but most people don't know unless they're also following me. So I tagged Paul. I really didn't want to make that video. It makes it real. I don't want it to be real. But you know, I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news. I have a habit of doing that with John. Although people didn't know John, but they loved Paul. We all love Paul. There we are. You see it properly. But yeah, I actually put it up in the light. There's no one around here. So badly put up. I probably did the ground. The ground is probably done, but yeah, the whatever. And I used my not stealth Aldi pump. I was like, so what? Who cares? You come for me. I'm just tired. I'm just tired of it all. Not in that way. But I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of losing people. I haven't put up this tent in ages, so it's not. Yeah, me camping near Godalming, of all places, which is where I went to college. More memories. Yay. I really want more memories. And memories hurt. So we're having pasta with a little bit of... I mixed up some garlic and onion powder. No, this is nothing dodgy. This is thyme and rosemary and Italian herbs and that kind of pepper and everything. I've also got some chicken and bacon in there. I'm going to use this first because it's big and I want to take it out. Take me out. I'm getting a little bit worried about the water situation because unfortunately this flip cap came open, so we're a bit short of water, so I can't have my hot chockey, which is really annoying. So let's see if this works. All the pump works. So we pump this up. Very noisy. We'll see it works. There's a light. It's a bit bright though. But yeah, I don't care at the moment. And I got these, which are Carry More socks. They're merino Carry More socks. I was very sceptical. They actually feel really nice. So we'll see how well they last. Oh yes, we've got the new pillow. It was a bit squishy, I found a little bit wearing it. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. To be really honest, with this closed up, I mean, it's not exactly toasty, but it's not exactly cold. I think with my Wooby, I'll be fine. I brought my down jacket, just in case we have something like that. Oh. Morning. Yeah. I slept okay. Well, I didn't initially, but it was nothing to do with the setup. This worked really well. This is the Wooby, Pelican Wooby. No, this is really good. I actually just ended up just using it as a blanket. I did the poppers. No, not the drug. I shouldn't mention that. I used it as a sleeping bag to begin with. And then actually it was too hot. And I ended up just using it as a blanket and that was fine. It was a success. The pasta was really nice. Obviously have the fun of scrubbing the pot, so I left a little bit of water in. We're a bit low on water. Traditionally, yes Tim, we're always low on water, isn't we? Oh, success. Well, it's like the premiere last night. It was hard. Talking about gear at this time seems to be just like pointless. Weird timing on my grief video, and people are finding that useful. I really wish that wasn't the case. Lots of responses about the short video I posted about Paul dying. Again,
I don't really want to get any likes or subs or anything because of that. It's not monetized. I didn't want to post it. Don't want to make it real. Didn't want to have to do that. So, on with the day job, I suppose. This is kind of my day job. Get some breakfast and get dressed and have a pee. I hear a robin. I hear a robin. That was me and John's, and now me and Paul's herd. Always used to talk about the robins coming to camp. Very appropriate to hear a robin. With all the drama last night, I didn't get to show you where I camped. Yeah, lovely campsite. We're about, I don't know, a few miles from Godalming, I think. I was aiming for Guildford. I didn't get as far as Guildford, but I got past Farnham. Yeah. So maybe just see that bloke disappearing. There is a path running down there. It's not the most stealth location. I didn't spot the path last night. But the tent's down, so... Yes, and we'll, of course, kick over all this stuff and put it back to what it was before. Got to follow the full code. We don't call it leave no trace, but it'll be like Wombles. A bit late getting off. Always the first day is always the slower start. It's 9:30 I think, or coming up to 10. I would like to get off at 9, but yeah, today wasn't really the day. I don't know, you shake and shake and shake to the shaken back, to the precious back, and it doesn't matter how much you do so, you still seem to end up with most of the woodland fauna and flora in it. Such is the fun of tents. You would think after all this time, all those camping trips, I could do this, roll this in one. Nope, I'm always in two. Why do they make the backs of tents so tiny? Why can't they be a stretchy sort of thing, you know, like a stretchy lycra thing that stretches and then compresses or something? It's really weird. It's fun trying to squish that back into the bag. Yeah, I found this plastic, so we'll take that with us. There is a can over there, but I have very limited space. I always try and take something extra. It helps. I know it's not completely great, but this, I've kicked it over so it looks less like a clearing. But yes, I'll call it a pull code from now on. Always take more. That's what I learned from him. Always take more rubbish than you bring in. What you can carry though. Spend all week clearing this wood.
That was the end of day 1 and the start of day 2 of the North Downs Way trip. We travelled a distance of 12.5 miles, 4.7 miles from Waverley Abbey and back, and 7.7 miles on the trail. This is the bit where I usually say I hope you enjoyed the video, but as it was one of the worst days of my life, I don't think it's that kind of video. It's dedicated to Paul and John. If you'd like to see more from this trip and my other videos, please subscribe and like the video. It helps the channel and this video. And on screen now will be the start of the South Downs Way series, and it will become the next day in the series when that's available. I hope you are well, look after yourselves, practice self-care, and I'll speak to you soon.